Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class, I am currently doing a series of video presentations based on the book that will be used for this class for the fall 2019 semester. As you can see on the screen, the book is ProASP.NET MVC 5, an A-Press text by Mr. Adam Freeman. I am in Chapter 9 when we are working on the shopping cart for the sports score application that we have been creating. So the author says, now that we've introduced the custom model binder, it's time to complete the cart functionality by adding two new features. The first will allow the customer to remove an item from a cart. The second will display a list or a summary of the cart at the top of the page. So, we've already defined and tested the remove from cart method from the controller, so letting the customer remove items is just a matter, they say there, of exposing the method in a view, which we're going to do by adding a remove button in each row. So we want to go changes, view cart index, so let's go into our UI, and we've got views, cart, and there's the index. So we're just going to replace what we did have with this. Now it's going to be incomplete right now because we're not done yet. Could have just come in and added that TD, but I went and replaced everything that's in there. No red, always a good sign. Want to make sure I didn't add too much stuff here that I shouldn't have added. Okay, so 232, 233. Okay, looks good. The author says I've added a new column to each row. And that is this. That contains a form with an input element. We style the input element as a button with Bootstrap and added a style element and an ID to the table element to basically make sure stuff is properly aligned and it looks kind of nice. All right. The author used a strongly typed HTML.hidden_for helper method to create a hidden field for the return URL model property. Okay. It says you can see the remove button at work by running the application, adding items to the shopping cart. Remember that the cart already contains the functionality to remove it, in which case we can test by clicking one of the new buttons as shown on page 234 of our text. Okay, which is right here. Okay, so let's do a file save all as we always do. Let's run the application. Once it comes up, let's add something to our cart, and then we'll add a couple things, and then we'll remove one or more. Alright, so let's add a kayak. Okay, continue shopping. Let's add a whole stadium. And let's add an unsteady chair. Alright, we don't have the money for a stadium, so let's remove it. Looking real nice so far. Alright, I like the different color coding that the author used with these. We could remove everything. Boom, now we have nothing in there. Alright. And the next thing that we're going to do, and we should be able to complete this in this lesson, is to add the cart summary, as they start to mention here on the bottom of page 234. The author says they may have a functioning cart, but there is an issue with the way it is integrated into the interface. Customers can tell what is in their cart only by viewing the cart summary screen, and they can view the cart summary screen only by adding a new item to the cart. To solve this problem, we're going to add a widget that summarizes the contents of the cart and that can be clicked to display the cart contents throughout the application. We'll do this in much the same way that we added the navigation widget as an action whose output will be injected into the Razor layout. To start, we need to add the simple method that's shown on page 235 to our cart controller.cs file. Give me just a second here. I dropped my pages, so. There we go. All right. So we want to add this right here, and we want to add that to our cart controller.cs file right near the bottom. Let's bring up our controller. Let's go down to the bottom, and right before the bottom, so right here, we're adding that partial view. And the author mentions on page 235, this simple method needs to render a view supplying the current cart, which will be obtained using the custom model binder as view data. To create the view, right-click the summary action method, all right, and select Add View from the pop-up. Set the name of the view to Summary and click the OK button to create Views Cart Summary CSHTML file. So, there's the summary method, right mouse click, choose Add View, set the name to Summary or keep it right where it is, and click the OK button. Again, we're not setting anything because we have not been told to do so. Edit the file. So that, I thought I clicked Add, but maybe I didn't. All right. So edit the file so that it matches what's shown here on the middle of page 235. The view will display the number of items in the cart, the total cost of said items, and a link that shows the details of the cart to the user. And as you will have expected by now, the author has assigned the elements that the view contains the classes defined by Bootstrap. All right, we have to also add a partial view to our layout.cs HTML file. So in other words, for this to actually show. So we need to go to our underscore layout.cs HTML in our body here. Right there, we're going to add what's shown right there. So we should be able to run the application now. File, save all. Let's run the application and see what we have. So they show you grabbing the chess thinking cap, add that. Okay. With this addition, customers know what's in their cart and have an obvious way to check out from the store. So let's continue shopping. There it is. One item, $16. You can see once again how easy it is to use the HTML action helper method to incorporate the output from an action method in another view. It says this is a nice technique for breaking down the functionality of an app into distinct reusable blocks. All right. The next thing that we are supposed to be doing here is to institute the checkout process. Which I'm just looking through it to see how long it is, and it looks as though it's going to take up most, if not the rest of the chapter. I think I'm already at a place, where I can stop and continue that in the next lesson.